Hello and welcome to a new episode of Airport CEO here on BongoPlanes, where we of course are continuing our work over at Terminal 1, but we will also look into following one of your requests, and that is basically taking a look around the airfield and doing a little bit of spotting, looking at some of the aircraft that come in and some of them leaving, and just seeing how the general flow is going. All that and much more right after the drop. As always, before we get too far into today's episode, if you should end up enjoying this video, then don't forget to leave a like. That would be very much appreciated. And of course, if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe? That would be absolutely awesome. Alright, so the first task we are going to look into is actually to create some safety and security at our airport, something we haven't really done so before. And of course, we need to fix that. So what that means is that we are building a emergency response station, or fire station, and a police station. And actually, we're not just building one of each, but actually we will have 6 buildings in total, so 3 of each. So that we have 1 police station and 1 fire station for each terminal. So we're placing them across the airfield and then making sure that they are assigned to the specific terminal. We can also just have them unassigned, but I'm hoping that this will improve the terminals if they are assigned. And given that there's the option to assign them to a terminal, I figured that there must be a reason for that, so why not just make sure that we have them assigned, basically. Of course, and I've done that off camera, we need to have some fire trucks, some ambulances and some police cars. And the reason I'm also doing this is basically because, perhaps you know, we are chasing this 5-star rating that just seems to elude us. And even though in Sandbox you actually don't need any of these emergency services, because there are no emergencies happening, that's only if you play the game, basically, if you're not in Sandbox, that these things can happen. And there it would definitely have an impact on the rating. But since we don't have any need for these things in Sandbox, I haven't built them so far, but perhaps this does also influence the rating. So now we've built it, so perhaps this is just another little stepping stone towards this 5-star rating if we can ever achieve it. Another thing we of course always can do to try to reach this 5-star rating is to continuously improve our airport. And there's one thing we really need to fix, because I built a little bit of a trap last time. If you remember, one of the last things was to build this security entrance for our underground areas where we have the baggage base and the tier 3 scanner. And we even built a little staff room, which has been very popular. So popular that they don't want to leave. Okay, that's a lie. They really do want to leave, desperately, but well, I didn't give them the option to leave, basically. So yeah, I don't know if I'm taking them hostage, but of course we need to fix it. The basic thing is I just forgot to build a an exit for the secure zone, because obviously it's not just enough to have a security check so they can enter. They do also need to be able to leave. So yeah, that's something we desperately need to fix, of course. And just look at that, how happy our workers are when they finally can go home to their families and not be trapped here at the airport forever and ever. I mean, I don't know if I'm a bad person, but I mean, I did let them go now, so yeah. But we gloss over that. Alright, of course, one thing we also need to work on here at Terminal 1 is the departure hall. We have already built most of the infrastructure that we need for an airport so that it can work, but of course it's not enough just to have the basic infrastructure. It should also be an area that people enjoy being in. So we have a shop, and then we have some space left over here, which obviously isn't big enough for shops. So we will again build these a little bit more elaborate seating arrangements, because that's also one thing we of course know, also from our experience building the other terminals, is that it is good to have seating arrangements in the departure hall, because passengers often arrive early for their boarding and then they just don't know where to go, and get annoyed if they can't rest until check-in opens, basically. So yeah, we've made sure that this is an option, and of course we also need to make sure that they are well informed, so we are adding these information screens across the terminal. And one thing we also really need to do is, of course, to add bins everywhere, so that we avoid having issues with cleanliness, with garbage being everywhere. We had a lot of issues with that at a C concourse for some reason, so it is something we really need to be aware of. And then also, of course, we have already added one shop in the departure hall, and there won't be too many shops in the terminal, but there should be some, because otherwise, again, passengers will be annoyed. So I found a space. Basically, we will have to figure out to add a few more shops around, but I found one good place, and that's basically between the gates for the non-international wide-body stand and the international wide-body stand. This will only be accessible for passengers that remain in the non-international zone, but this is also the part of the building that connects over to Terminal 2, so I could imagine that there are a few passengers walking across this area, going from one terminal to the other, and if that happens, then they will go past this shop. So yeah, hopefully this will also be popular with people. But as soon as we've done that, of course, I've promised you one thing, and that is to do some spotting. Alright, so as soon as we've just added a few more benches here, I think I promised you guys to do some spotting, and I guess now is as good as any other time to do just that. So let's look out onto the airfield and see what's going on over here. A little CRJ of SAS. We do seem to have a little bit of congestion here. This is really one part of the game that still is far from really being good. Aircraft, yeah, I mean, you can see it. They clutter up because the pathing system of aircraft really could need a rework, because this can obviously be done much more efficient, but this is just how the game works, so we just have to live with it. But anyways, so what can we else see? We can see we have a Baltic 737. The A220 series isn't in the game yet. I hope it will come one day, but that's why we still have 737s, or the classics with Air Baltic. Let's see, what is this? A Scandinavian, so this is an A319 in the retro colors, coming in here at A concourse. This little CRJ is still waiting. Alright, so let's head over. Let's see what we get over here. Between A and B, coming in here, an A319 of Croatia Airlines. Where do you come from? Well, not somewhere in France. Okay, I mean, the routes are still making very little sense most of the time. That's also a weakness of the game, and unfortunately nothing we really can change. So, I mean, it doesn't seem to be the most busy time at the moment here at the airport, but there is some fair amount of traffic, so I think this is not the worst time to take a look at the airfield and see what is going on. Again, over here at A concourse, we have a Finnair leaving, and we had a Nordica just arriving. Finnair is going out, so let's see. This is being handled now. This Nordica came from Genoa in Italy. Maybe also not the most realistic route, but yeah, as I said, this is really nothing we have influence over. Alright, so this does seem to be okay. We have a bit more going on over here at C concourse, over at Terminal 3. Let's see. This is a Baltic-8. They also don't fly anymore, unfortunately. Fly Dubai 737-800, I can see. We have an LC Express. You came from Ukraine. Okay. Swiss came in from Okay, that was a far flight all the way from India. Also a far flight for an A320, but okay. And then of course Emirates with their 777. Also very realistic route from Turkey. I'm joking, of course, but okay. Processes do seem to go on here. Although service round in progress, that hasn't even started yet. I think again we're having some trouble with not enough ramp agents. I think that is perhaps what is giving us a few challenges here and there. While this Great Dane Embraer E95 has arrived. An A340. They've left as well. I mean, yeah, they're gone as well. At least they do fly overseas here in the game. So that makes a little bit more sense. Let's head over here. We have a Dreamliner from Air France coming in here today, next to the Emirates. All right, also here. Yeah, I think we have generally issues that the service rounds aren't really progressing because we don't have enough ramp agents. But I mean, we've known that all the time. We're hiring all the time. I'm hiring so much so many ramp agents and other staff off camera. I think this is also one thing that still needs to be tweaked in the game, the amount of staff that you need, because either they need to reduce the amount of staff you need, or you need to be able to hire much more staff at once, because it's just, I mean, I'm really constantly off camera hiring staff, and you're not getting anywhere close to what you actually need to handle the amount of aircraft that we have at the airport. But yeah, we're trying. So let's see over here as well. There's plenty of aircraft over at G with the remote stands, our low-cost terminal. But let's take a closer look here as well. I mean, why not? You wanted some spotting, so let's give you some spotting. A lovely A319 of Volotea. That has actually been flying to Spain, so that's actually halfway realistic. I mean, it is, after all, a Spanish low-coster. Let's just quickly reassign this shop here. But I think also over here we do have the issue that these aircraft are pretty much being handled except for the service round. Again, it's just... it's a bit annoying. But there's nothing else to do than just hiring more staff. Just hiring more staff. I think all these aircraft here are stuck as well, to be honest. Alright, although boarding hasn't started yet, so okay, maybe this one is still going. And actually the service round has been completed here as well. Boarding is also still not in progress, although this one has achieved nothing. Okay. Alright. Let's also quickly look here where we have at E these three aircraft, Arabia and Egypt Air, and a little ATR, which I think was from Iran Air, which of course, or Iran Air, whatever you want to pronounce it like. Maybe also not the most realistic aircraft coming in here. This is also still an issue, I think, but this is more with the mods that I think it would be nice if the more mods would be split up in single aisle and wide body aircraft, or regional single aisle and wide body aircraft, because it would make it a lot easier to make realistic traffic come into your airports. But unfortunately I am not able to do any mods. I have no idea how this works. I'm just happy that anyone actually bothered to do any of this, because at least that way we have some form of at least realistic skins. And when I say realistic skins, an A340-300 of Lufthansa is coming in here. Maybe also not the most realistic, also at the moment really not, because they're not flying at the moment, but still, it's still lovely to see. Yeah, but I think yeah, you really wanted some spotting. Now I've done some spotting. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. We can do it again if you really want to, but then feel free to let me know in the comment section below, so I have an idea about how many people actually are interested in going around the airport like this and just looking at the aircraft coming in while this little Dash 8 from Croatia Airlines just arrives. So yeah, as I said, let me know in the comment section below if this is really something you still want to see more of. I don't really know how else I can do this spotting. I don't know. I mean, yeah, I tried it now, and if you liked it, then let me know. Alright, but with that I think we have reached the end of today's episode, so if you have enjoyed this video then don't forget to leave a like, that would be very much appreciated. That would also help out the series and the channel, and of course if you are new around here, why not hit subscribe, that would be absolutely awesome. And with that, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, hope to see you soon again, I'm checking out, and bye.